Good evening, good evening. Did you think I was not coming? I had a sneezing and let's see, it said for me to swipe the screen. I don't know. Can you all hear me? Welcome in. Welcome in. You all that have been with me, you all know that my allergies will just absolutely have a mind of their own. And this eye just tears. So I'm not upset about anything. It's just they cut the grass. Oh my goodness. Do you like this song? It's you. Just to hear your voice, my insides rejoice. Oh. Come on in. Enjoy the music as you're coming in. I had to do something, okay? Doesn't that make your heart feel good? Can you hear it? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm so glad that you came to join me tonight. I am so glad. You know I am not intentionally late, but when things happen, I'm trying to turn this down for you all. Now, I'm sorry. Now, can you all hear me better now? I was just, the music got me in a happy place. And I'm happy that I'm going to be with you all tonight. And you all have chosen to join me tonight. So I am so very thankful for that. Always very thankful. I hope you all can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay? Just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. Let me know that you can hear me okay. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. As you're coming in, you know, I never request gifts ever. I never request that you gift me, but if you do, I thank you in advance. If you would, but I am going to ask that you click the heart and do the heart me. And I am going to ask that as you are listening to me, that you tap your screen. You know what my goal always is. My goal is at least 20,000 likes. And if you like what you're hearing, please tap the screen. Housekeeping. I have wonderful, wonderful moderators. Wonderful moderators. And they know the rules that I don't want anyone to be escorted out, because I feel like that there is something that I'm going to say that will be beneficial to you. And so that is so, I ask that you be mindful of your manners, of what it is that you're putting in the chat. Your first strike is that they will mute you so that you can stay and hear. The second strike, there's no 3, it's just 2 here on this platform, is that they will escort you out. On this platform, on my platform, there is no profanity, absolutely no profanity, because I feel like you can have dialogue with me without the use of, and I'm going to be mindful of it for you, and I hope that you will be mindful for everyone around you. Did you bring your tea? Did you bring your tea? Well, you know I'm going to have the double spice chai, right? But I have the moringa tea, not the moringa tablets, but the moringa tea. And it has pretty much no taste, but it helps you relax. It helps me to relax at the end of the evening. So that's what I'm having, double spice chai and moringa tea. It's really good. It's really tasty. So I hope you all brought a beverage so that you can join me. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you. And as you're tapping the screen, share it out to someone. Share it out to some of your friends. That don't be selfish. See, what I'm sharing with you guys is what I paid to go to conferences and kept all the information. Now I'm sharing with you guys at no cost. At no cost. And prayerfully, it will be beneficial to you. Swipe right to view more comments. Okay. I don't know what it says for me to swipe right to see more comments. I don't need to see the comments. It'll make me nervous. And, but that is interesting. Can you all still see me even though I've swiped right? The comments are more bold and I can see them better. Look at that. That is wonderful. This must be something new that TikTok is doing. But can you all still see me? Can you? And now I can read what you all are doing, what you all are saying. Okay. Now, you all know I'm a new author. I am an author. Listen to that. Listen how that rolls off my tongue. I am an author. And I've written 2 books. And those that have been with me know. And those that are new, let me share with you. This is I have 2. And if you go on my profile, pinned on my profile, you can see the flyer, how you can get my 2 books. Thank you. The first book is Trilogy. Don't you like how that rolls off your tongue? Try it. Trilogy. And Trilogy is romance, soft, erotic, quite steamy. Yeah, Miss Donna likes to write steamy. But in class, you'll see that there's a difference in my writings in that there is no ethnicity in my writings. There are no names, so there's no Betty Sue, Shaniqua, Rodriguez, Richard. None of those things are in because I want you to be able to escape into my imagination. I want you to be able to read to your significant other, your spouse, at the end of the evening, and whatever spawns thereafter, it spawns thereafter because we are all adults. Yes, yeah, and to help you better understand that the Father does not put an expiration date on any of us. So find the passion within you. It's still there. No matter how old you are, it is still there. And then the next one is the struggle is real. Can you see that? The struggle is real. Now that is my story of how I came through after being married for 23 years to be divorced and single again. Well, it's a struggle. And anyone that's been in a relationship, come out of the relationship, you all don't forget to tap the screen as you're sitting and listening and talking with me. Tap the screen, please. As you're sitting and listening, tap the screen. But there is a way to get on the other side. There's a way to get on the other side that doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to be the cussing and damning of each other. There is another way to get through it. And God has a better way. So I think I did all of the housekeeping. What we're gonna these next 3 days, Tuesday and Thursday, and then next week on Tuesday, I hope to close this out, or maybe not. It all depends on how what Leroy says. But we're going to talk about knowing when it's time to commit. Commit. Remember last week we talked about being single. Well, there is a progression. It is not being single and married the next day. There is a progression, and we've made it hard because I don't think that we know what the progression is. We have not been taught in church. Some of us have not been taught by our parents. Some of us have, the street has taught us. And the question is, how is that working for you? Now, I am single, but I was married for 23 years. And now I am single again for 27 years. But when I came out, I was not ready to date. I was not ready to date. And sometimes we allow our loins to overrule our better judgment because we've been used to every day and twice on Sunday, and now we no longer. And so it's, how am I going to make this without the intimacy, whatever it was? But that's the time that you need to get to know you. That's the time that it is for you to get to know you and to better know you, because I would venture to say that you have no idea of who you are and no idea of how to truly date, because dating does not constitute a relationship. It does not say that because I went out on a date with him yesterday, or went out on a date with him on Saturday, and I had a date with him on Sunday, that we are in a relationship. That is, thank you for the heart me. Thank you all. Thank you. That does not mean that we are in a relationship. Thank you so much. So the reason why I ask you to tap the screen and get me to at least 20,000, then it puts me out there for other people to follow me like you guys. And I am so very appreciative of you guys. But there are others that could benefit from what you all are learning. So I thank you for your taps. And whatever this new thing is, I can see so much better. I don't need to know where my glasses are or anything. I can see. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so tonight, thank you all. Thank you so much. So tonight, we're going to talk about how will you know when it's time to commit? How will you know? Or knowing when it's time to commit. And in doing this, we're going to first start off with knowing the 5 stages. There are 5 stages. Thank you for the gifts. There are 5 stages to romantic relationships. 5 stages. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to tap the screen, get your pen and paper ready. Got your tea? Everything? Are we ready? You all really need to get some double spice chai. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Okay, so did you know that there were 5 stages to romantic relationships? And we're going to go through them one at a time. Then on Thursday, we're going to talk about signs. There are signs when we should or should not start to look at being in or committing to. Okay? So the first stage is the friendship. The first stage is the friendship. If you can write that down in your on your notepad, in your notes, wherever, it's friendship stage. Now this stage is where both parties are discovering their similarities. I know you've heard, when I go on a date, it's to collect data. Well, how do you know what data? It just makes me want to, ugh. It's going to go on to collect data. Yeah, right. And how far has it gotten you? Mm-hmm. So it is about discovering their similarities. Both parties are discovering the similarities and being intentional. Hey there, how are you? And being intentional about cultivating a friendship. Cultivating a friendship. So when we say cultivating, and we gardeners, right? You have to till the ground, get past all of the rocks and all of that, but you got to put a little bit of time in. And that's the reason why I say we use the word friends too loosely. Or that's a friendship. We just use it too loose. It takes time to cultivate a friendship. Okay? And then there, in this stage of friendship, there is no commitment. At this stage, there is no commitment and very little what? Expectations. Very little expectations, because we are in the friendship stage. We're just getting to know each other. Who knows, after that first time, hey Paula, hey Tweety, I see you all. Welcome in, welcome in. Who's to say that not necessarily drive-bys, Tweety, not necessarily drive-bys, but there's no commitment. We're talking about the friendship stage. Without friendship, there can be no ships, relationships, or anything else. Friendship is the foundation that we all must have. And so my husband should be my best friend. He should be the person that or my wife, that I can confide in and share. Thank you so much, that I can share with. That's the reason why friendship, that's the reason why this is the number 1 stage. Okay? So friendship, this is the stage where both parties are discovering their similarities and are being intentional about cultivating a friendship. There is no commitment and very little expectations. Very little expectations. That's the first one. Now, number 2, are you ready? Number 2 is, this stage is the dating stage. This is the dating stage. This stage is where both parties agree. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm very intentional about what I'm saying. Where both parties, because sometimes, ladies, we create something that's not even there. We create a, a, a scenario or a relationship that's not even there because the man has not asked you to go another further. He's never insinuated, acknowledged that he wanted to go. But in some of our minds, we've already decided that that's what it is. So this stage is where both parties agree to begin cultivating a even deeper friendship by spending more quality time together. Still, there is no commitment and minimal expectations on this stage. There's still no commitment. You with me? When you all get back out there and get ready today, you are going to be so far ahead of the game. You won't get caught up. And that's the reason why it seems like dating is so hard. It's because we've been taught incorrectly. And I don't know, and I will never say that it was intentional. Some didn't know any better, and they taught you through their hard knocks. I am sharing with you because I put in the work. I sat down because I didn't know how to date. I was married at 19. So I had to learn. And this information that I've collected is to share with you all. And it's a little upsetting to hear sometimes say, well, Miss Donna, you're 70 years old. And the way you all used to date back in the day is not how we dating now because we're shooting our shot and we're smashing on the first date. How has that worked for you? How has it worked for you? Are you any closer to being married? Are you any closer to being in a meaningful relationship? Are you? No, ma'am. No, sir, you're not. Okay, so the dating stage is what? Where both parties agree to begin cultivating an even deeper friendship by spending more quality time together. There is still no commitment. So in the friendship stage, there's no commitment and very little expectation. In the dating stage, there's still no commitment and minimal expectation on this stage. Minimal. Right, Paula, not one step closer. Absolutely. Not one step closer. Hey, Jeanette, how are you? The third. So now, what did we say the first stage was? Can somebody put in the chat what we said the first stage was for those persons that are coming in? The first stage of knowing when it's time is friendship. That's the first stage. So if we can put that in there, if we can put that in the chat for them, the first stage is friendship. And this is the stage where both parties are discovering their similarities and are intentional about cultivating a friendship. At this stage of friendship, there is no commitment, none, and very little expectation. And then the next one is the dating stage. The dating stage. And this is the stage where both parties agree. Notice what I said, both parties. It's not one-sided. Both parties agree. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for the gifts. Thank you all for tapping. we're going to get to 10 way before I get close to finish. So thank you all so much. Now the third stage, remember there's 5 stages to any romantic relationship. 5 stages. The first is friendship. The second is dating. The next third stage is the courting stage. The third stage, if you all would put it in the chat, the third stage is the courting stage. And we don't really talk about that much. You know, we don't, we talk about dating, but dating is not a part in the Bible about, there's nothing in the Bible about dating, but courtship. So courtship, while courtship is not a word that is commonly used these days, the courtship, which is a commitment stage, is key, as this is where both parties, I cannot say this enough, and you'll hear me say it over and over again, where both parties make a decision to be exclusive. Y'all know that word. With one another, where in most cases the end result is marriage. Both parties agree. This is not a one-side. This is not one-sided. That's the reason why dating and being in a relationship has been so hard, because it's been one-sided. It's been cattywampus. Everybody is wanting something. Everybody is wanting something. How long does he have to? How long does he have to pretend that he wants to be in a relationship with you when in actuality, good evening, Al, good evening, when in actuality, he just wants his itch scratched. So game recognizes game. Whether it was back in my day and I'm 70, the game is still the same. The game is still the same. You all just have different labels for it, but it's still the same. So the guy does what he has to do because you've given him signs that you could be possibly easy. So he says what he needs to say to get what he needs to get. So a man says, baby, you know I love you. Don't make me wait much longer. And she says, you know I love you too, and avails herself. He says, I love you to get what I want, what he wants. She says, I love you by giving. By giving. Yes, everything has conditions. It is contractual. And then after it's all said and done, because we have not developed these stages, when it's all said and done and he's no longer there, now we're back to creating new labels. All men are dogs. You know, it's not going nowhere. There's pee in the dating pool. All of those things. But it's because the dating pool is your pool. And who you allow to pee in your pool is you. So we have to start taking accountability for where we are. Hey, Cynthia, I saw you. Welcome in. Welcome in. So, while courtship is not a word that is commonly used these days, the courtship commitment stage is key, as this is where both parties make a decision to be exclusive. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. Exclusive with one another, where in most cases the end result is marriage. in most cases. Now, so what do we have? The first stage of this relationship, of a romantic relationship, is friendship. The second stage is dating stage. The third stage is courtship. Now the fourth stage. And if anyone is coming in late and didn't get the explanations for this, it will be uploaded on my YouTube page. And if someone could append you, me, and T with Lady D is my YouTube page. You, me, and T with Lady D. And I will upload it in the morning. I will. So now the fourth, thank you so much. Thank you. The fourth stage is the engagement. The engagement. Now this stage is where the couple has made a decision. Did you hear what I said? The couple. And now we're still talking about what? Both parties. Hey Tony, welcome in. We're still talking about both parties. So the engagement stage is where the couples have made the decision to get married. And here is when they begin planning the wedding and the marriage. You notice I keep saying we're the couples, we're both parties. That is paramount. It is not one-sided. It is not one-sided. They both, welcome in. They both agreed that this is where they want to go. This is not, man, I'm just going to go ahead and do this and so she can stop nagging the crap out of me. That's not where we at. They both want this because they've taken the time to cultivate this relationship. And that's what we're talking about. How do we cultivate this relationship? So we're not just getting into bed. We're getting to know each other. And then the fifth stage is the marriage. Okay? Excuse me, you all. The fifth stage is the marriage. And this is where the couple begins moving purposefully towards the future together as one flesh, live out in two separate bodies. One flesh lived out in two separate bodies. That's the reason why last week I started with being single. Being single. You need to be single, and single was what? Separate, whole, unique in yourself. So that the name of the YouTube channel is You, Me, and T with Lady D. You, Me, and T with Lady D. If someone could pin that for me. Paula, if you could pin that for me, or the moderators, You, Me, and T with Lady D. That's my YouTube page. Okay. With Lady D. Yes. No. Y-O-U. Y-O-U. Me and T with Lady D. Okay? So, yes, Paula, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is important. So now, if the questions that I'm about to ask are not for you, take the questions down again and share it with someone. I'm sharing with you information that I've gathered over the 27 years that has helped me to get on this side. And I'm forever learning, and I will forever learn so that I can be the help meet. It's not help mate, M-A-T-E. It is help meet, M-E-E-T, when he comes and when he recognizes that I am. Okay? And until that time, I will continue to share with you all. I will continue to enjoy this season of my singleness, of me being single until that time. And I'm not going to sweat the funk. I'm not, I'm not worried about, is my biological clock going to tick out? You know what? I'm 70 years old and all of my pots and pans are still in the kitchen. That's about taking care of you. Thank you so much. So you take care of you and all will still be operating and in good use, okay? I like to say that I'm a one-car owner. I'm a one-car owner. So we do these things to take care of us so that we are not, oh, I'm going to sneeze. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I felt it coming. Oh. So we don't have to look rode hard and put up wet. Now, I don't know if you all know that saying, but that's something that my mother used to say. Rode hard and put up wet. Okay, so a few questions. Write them down. I will repeat them. And in your quiet time, I want you to answer these questions because this is going to make thank you so much. This is going to make such a difference in how you go forward. So when you get a chance, go look at the videos on being single and why it is so good that you're single first, okay? And then this right here. The first question is, how many times have you made the mistake of skipping the first two stages? What are the first two stages? Friendship and dating, right? And rushing right into courtship, commitment stage without knowing if it was the proper time to do that. You don't have to answer me, but you got to be honest with you, and you need to answer this question. How many times have you made the mistake of skipping the first two stages, which is friendship is first, dating is second, and rush right into courtship, which was the third stage, right? The commitment stage, without knowing if it was the proper time to do so? I don't do blanket statements in here. We all do. I don't make blanket statements because that's the reason why I say this is a personal thing, an individual thing that you have to be honest with you. And that's the reason why I am so thankful that you guys come out and join me. You know I love you where you are. I talk to you right where you are. But I don't assume anything. I will not assume that we all, because that says that I know all of you all, and I don't. I'm getting to know some of you, but I don't know all of you. And so we need to stop generalizing all women, all men. We must stop. We must stop. Okay? You ready for the second question? How many times have you discovered that the person you rushed to be with was not at all good for you? How many times? This is rhetorical. You don't have to tell me. but I will ask, how did it work for you? Always, that's the last part of that question. All of these questions is, how did it work for you? So, how did it work for you? When you skip stage 1 and you skip stage 2, the question, and then how did it work for you? That's the ending question. Okay, the next one. What stage or stages do you usually find yourself skipping when the relationship seems perfect in the beginning? And what's the last part of that statement? How did it work for you? What stage or stages do you usually find yourself skipping when the relationship seems perfect in the beginning? Seems perfect in the beginning. And seems perfect in the beginning. You got it written down? If you don't, and thank you all for tapping, we're going to get to the 20,000 before I open up the boxes. Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you. Have some of your tea. I know you're thinking about, oh man, this is homework. Yes, homework. This is homework. Are you ready? Hey, how are you? How are you? Okay. The next, let me ask you this, okay? Let me ask you this. How much more empowered would you be if you knew exactly how to navigate each one of these 3 stages with full confidence and certainty? How much more empowered would you feel if you first cultivated a friendship? Cultivated a friendship. No commitment and very little expectation, right? No commitment and very little expectation. Then what? The dating stage, right? And there again, both parties begin to cultivate even deeper. So they're putting in the work. They're putting in the effort. So, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. If you all had allergies, my goodness. So if we all stepped back and took time and didn't try to rush through the process, so if we were not so desperate, if we were not in such a hurry to have someone fill voids and brokenness in us, and knowing that being single first is so much more important, which makes this next step of knowing when to commit. And then the courtship. The courts in the dating, there's still in dating, there is still no commitment and minimal expectation. And minimal expectation. And then number 3, there's courtship. While courtship is not a word, right, that is commonly used these days, the courtship commitment stage is key, and this is where both parties, not one-sided. None of these stages happen in a bubble of that one person. Both parties make a decision to be exclusive with one another, where in most cases the end result is marriage. I go back to saying, telling the story that Tony told. If he was not here, he had an encounter with a young lady, and the young lady door dashed him some, right? She brought it to him. And then when the next morning came, she had decided how she was going to rearrange his house. Now, this was just a one-night stand. You see what I'm saying? And she had decided where she was going to put this in the house, and I can make this room this for me, and I can make this for me. All of these things. Welcome in, six. Welcome in. We made all of these decisions to do all of these things when we have just stepped over how are you? We have just stepped over friendship. We've stepped over dating. We stepped over courtship. We just stepped over all of that. And the ending statement is, how did that work for you? How did that work for you? So, how much more peace is the next question. How much more peace would you have knowing that you have access to the right wisdom, to the right decision at the right time? Believe it or not, that these levels of peace and certainty are possible. They are possible. But we have to find patience. We have to find patience. And we have to be okay. I don't know what that is. That was something. We have to be okay with being able to say, if we could not cultivate friendship, and we know that friendship is imperative and that it was not going anywhere, be okay to say, it's been fun. It's been real. And I think, what do you all say? Deuces? What deuces? And I'm reclaiming my time. It is okay to reclaim your time, your peace, and your joy. It is okay. It is not it was given to you by God. Are you just going to give it away? Just asking. The problem is purpose, not people. The problem is purpose, not people. What has been discovered in thousands of hours of when I was reading this, doing this, and I did divorce care and relationships in need of repair. That was my assignment after my divorce. And when I did it, just like most of you, the problem was not people. The problem was purpose. The problem was not people. The problem was purpose. Most singles know that they desire a healthy dating life, but they don't know how to define what a healthy dating life looks like. Most singles don't know that the most important aspect to successful vetting people is to lead with purpose. Is to lead with purpose. So it's 10:33. I did good. I got to the end. I got to the end without going past 3 minutes over. Now, if there's anyone, and we got to 20,000. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for the gifts, but most of all, thank you for getting me to my goal number of 20,000. So, if there's anyone that has any questions or would like to come up in the box and join me, please send an invite. Send an invite. This is cool as the dickens. This thing, you swipe it over, it enhances the chat so I can see what's going on. But I didn't touch anything, moderators. I didn't touch anything. But it just like magnifies it for you, which is cool. Thank you so much. So, if there's anyone that has any questions, would like to join me in the box, please send a request and the moderators will bring you up. As I try to catch my nose as it's running away with me. Excuse me for just a second. My sister said, I have the lapel mics, right? But because my nose is running away from me, she made me brutally aware. I can hear you blowing your nose. Well, I'm sorry, I can't stop it. And I took my antihistamine and everything, and nothing's working. Absolutely nothing's working. Thursday, thank you so much. Thursday, we're gonna go even further and deeper into the stages of a romantic relationship and knowing when it is time to commit. Knowing when it is time to commit. Do we have anyone that wants to come up? I don't, and I'm like the Baptist says, I don't come to stay before you long. I want to come give you something so that you can digest it and we're on the road to doing it different. We're on the road to doing it different. So we've come through the first quarter, right? So we're in the second quarter of this year. And how we can do it different. We can do it different. We can do it different. And no, not at all. Not at all. And I'll be glad to go back over those for you, Monique. The first stage was friendship. The first stage was friendship. And this is the stage where both parties, I will put emphasis on both parties because it's never just one-sided. Both parties are discovering their similarities and are being intentional about cultivating a friendship. There is no commitment at this stage. There is no commitment, and with little expectations. That's the first stage. That's the first stage. The second stage is the dating stage. The dating stage is where both parties agree to begin cultivating an even deeper friendship by spending more quality time together, there is still no commitment and minimal expectation at this stage. The third stage is courting. While courting is not a word that is commonly used these days, the courtship commitment stage is key, as this is where what? Both parties make a decision to become exclusive with one another, where in most cases the end result is marriage. It's always both parties. The fourth stage is the engagement stage. This is where the couple has made the decision to get married. And here is when they begin planning the wedding and the marriage. And the fifth stage is marriage. And this is where the couple begins moving purposefully towards the future together as one flesh, lived out in two separate bodies. Now, Monique, I will be uploading all of this. All of this will be uploaded tomorrow. This live will be uploaded tomorrow on my YouTube channel, which is You, Me, and T with Lady D. You, Y-O-U, Me, and T with Lady D on YouTube. And if this is your first time joining us, last week we did being single. And we're not talking about single, or single, all of that. I feel my gray hair popping out every time I attempt to say it. But how it is paramount that you are single from the start and getting an understanding of what it means to be single. Now that we've got an understanding of what it means to be single, then we come to this part right here. And do you know when it's time for commitment? There are questions that you'll be able to answer as your homework. One of the questions of Monique was, what stages or stage do you usually find yourself skipping when the relationship seems perfect in the beginning? Yeah, there are stages that persons tend to skip, whether it's they definitely skip friendship, right? We can all agree that that's one stage that is skipped by most. And then we don't get the understanding that dating is just an event. You know, everyone wants to say, oh, dating, I'm collecting data. Well, what did you collect? And how did that work for you? And where are you? Are you single, or single? I'm being facetious. But obviously you didn't collect the right data, right? So, if there are no more questions, I'm going to thank you for joining me again. And thank you for your being so attentive and mindful. And I hope that you come back on Thursday to get more of this, knowing when to commit and the 5 stages of a romantic to a romantic relationship. I hope that you're welcome. I hope that you all gathered something from tonight and want to come back and hear the rest of the story on Thursday. I was doing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but most persons at the time on Thursday is 6:30 Pacific, 8:30 Central, and 9:30 Eastern. Hit the follow me and turn on your notifications because, excuse me, I put up an advertisement before going live. So just to give you a heads up that this is what I'm getting ready to do so that you can be prepared and come in. Now, I'm not going to claim this, but most of the time I'm late. And it's not intentional. It seems like when I say, okay, and I have my prayer before coming in, and my allergy says, oh, we getting ready to show out now. She's getting ready to go live. And my eyes start to tear, and my nose starts to run. Just everything goes to hell in a handbasket. So, thank you all. Thank you so much. But I try to be on time. But if you would, the moderators are here, and they've got keys to open up. I don't think that they can open it up though, so I have to open it up. So y'all just be standing in line so you can get there. Okay. Someone's coming up. Hello to whomever. I don't know who it is. Tony?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Alana, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay, hold on. Because it all of a sudden it just went kind of silent on my end.
That's okay.
Sometimes this happens, but let me turn up the volume on my phone and see if that helps any.
Okay.
Okay, all right, can you hear me now?
I can hear you very well.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, perfect. Perfect. It's just a little, yours is a little quiet, but that's okay because I just wanted to say, like, this is my, I think, third time seeing you. You just showed up in my news feed a couple weeks ago, maybe
Mm-hmm.
last week. Anyway, so I stopped and I listened to you, and I was like, my God, she is speaking to me. And it was a little later, so I didn't stay on long. I think I followed you right away, did all the things, sent some gifts, and just left out. And then I thought, I didn't get any information like how often do you do this and when are you coming back again? And I was just getting ready to go to sleep, and there you were. And so I was listening, and I just have to say that your presence is so peaceful and it's kind, and it brings about grace and gentleness. And somebody, like, right now you probably got about 50, 60 people in here, but somebody is watching and really listening and taking notes that really needs this, and they're not speaking up. And what I love about what you're doing is you're not rushing, and you're really feeding the people, and this is just amazing to me. Like, it's funny how times have changed, and here we are on TikTok, like doing this kind of thing. But it's absolutely beautiful, and so I just absolutely love what you're doing. And I'm gonna say this: I've been dating Now I'm 58.
Excuse me for just a second. I've got to do this
Okay.
and see so that they don't kick us off.
Okay.
Two objects that are the same. Uh-oh, I didn't do it right. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Whew.
Okay. All right.
I didn't want it
Uh,
to kick us off.
oh, okay. Okay, but we good now?
We're good. We're good.
Okay, perfect. I was just gonna say, and maybe next week or Thursday, well, I'll try to come on too and just listen and add. I'll type in the comments and everything. But I have been dating now. In September it'll be 3 years, and he wasn't looking and I wasn't looking. And when I tell you that it strictly started out as friends because it just wasn't what we were doing, either one of us in that space in our lives.
Mhm.
And the the sparks, the stars, the jitters, the chills, all of that is still there. And we walk and we hold hands and we laugh. When I tell you we laugh, oh my gosh, we just laugh. And when you start out as friends and really get to know one another, it takes the relationship to another level.
Mhm.
And so I just, thank you for some confirmation that you threw my way tonight. I'm like, geez, I needed to be writing that stuff down. But I'll catch it on Thursday.
Well, it's in the morning. I
Yes,
will
ma'am.
upload this live to
Okay.
my YouTube channel, which is
Okay.
You, Me, and T. YOU, Me, and T with Lady
Okay.
D. On and so subscribe. There's no cost. Um,
Okay. Yep,
but
I'll do it before I after I get off here, I'll do it before I go to sleep. And then I'll also be sharing your stuff as well. I meant to do that too and I forgot to do it tonight, but yeah, I'll definitely share and just help, like get the word out there because what you're doing, I mean, just with the grace that you have, it's beautiful.
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I apologize for not having my camera on, but I got my headscarf on. So it's
That's
time to
okay.
go to
You
sleep.
see, I'm having to blow my nose. My allergies, and they cut grass today,
Okay.
and that's one of the mitigating factors that causes everything to go haywire.
Yes.
So I'm just,
Yes.
and if I take anything else, I'm gonna sound like a drunk person talking to
Oh,
you.
okay.
So
Well, no, Mel, we don't want that. We do not want that.
but
But thank you for allowing me to come in here last minute and just have speak to you. So I appreciate that.
it's not a problem. And thank you for coming, Tony. What say you, Riri? I see you. Come up, Tony. Can you hear me?
Okay. I'm gonna drop out, okay?
Okay, okay,
All right, good night. I'll see you Thursday.
okay. Tony, he must have just stepped away. Um, Riri, good evening. How are you? Riri,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Well, how are you?
I
Beautiful.
am I am good. How are you?
I am wonderful, wonderful. I just love your conversation,
Thank you.
enjoying everything about it. You are just so beautiful, have a beautiful soul, and
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Did you have a question for us?
I did. I actually wanted to know, do you believe in astronomy as far as, signs of couples, like Capricorns and Taurus and you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
stuff like that, being together and stuff.
No. But
Okay.
you're asking me, do I believe in it? I can't speak for anyone else, but
Okay.
for me, no. Um,
Okay.
I
How do
believe
you feel about long distance relationships?
I don't have a problem with it. It's individual. It's individual. Um, I had shared that last year. Uh, my gentleman friend was unable to get here for Valentine, but what he did was he sent me my whole meal. He had my meal DoorDash to me with the wine and everything, and then I set my camera up, and we had Valentine dinner together and talked. There are ways that we can be creative, and I'm not talking about phone sex or anything like that. It's way before we ever get there. I just think, Riri, that we do everything too close too soon. And when we do things too close too soon, the outcome is what it is, a negative outcome.
Okay. Because, see, I was at a point in my life where I was just happy and content with being by myself because I had been married and divorced and, just, just happy and content with being by myself. And I made it a point to where I was just, praying to God and just told him, like, hey, I'm just happy. I'm content. I don't need nobody, don't want nobody. I can just grow old, by myself. And, I'm 48. And next thing you know, it was a guy that just came into my life. And he stays in Dallas, Texas. And I stay in Columbus, Ohio, 16 hours away. And we actually met and becoming to like each other. And I think I want to take that next step as far as, getting into a relationship. That's why I asked how you feel about long distance relationships
Okay,
because everything about him seemed like he is that person for me. And he said the same exact thing. So,
if Riri, as I said earlier when I was going through the different stages, it's both parties deciding. So you can be ready to go to another level or another stage, and he's not. It's always at each stage, it is both parties coming together with the decision to do this or to do that. Um, Sometimes, you know, when we are in relationships or want to be in relationships, and we tell God, well, I'm just comfortable being by myself and I don't need anyone. And but God knows the truth. And it's a comfortable answer, Riri, um, but it's a comfortable negative answer because not necessarily that that's what God would want for us. We have to say, God, your will be done. Your will be done in my life. You direct me. We invite him to direct us in the way that we should go. You know, it says for the children, as parents, we raise our children in the way that they should go, right? Well, God is our Father, and He's directing us in the way that we should go. So, not the moons and the stars, and whether the moon is in the seventh house. And, I'm a Libra, and they say that Libras are lovers, and all of that. I've read it. It says that Libras are the best lovers that you can have. But it all depends on which horoscope you're reading, which chart you're reading, that they could say it about Aries, or they could say it about Virgo. They could say it about a number of things. But in the end, uh, I like to say God has not denied us. He's just said, not yet. Not yet. Because there's some things that we still have to work on.
Okay. Okay. And we actually met, and to me and him both, we seem like we belong together. I actually feel, and he even told me the same exact thing, like we feel like we actually known each other forever, but we haven't. What do you think about that?
You don't want to know what I think about that.
Yeah, I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth.
So how long have you all been seeing each other?
For a year now.
For a year. And you've not been in each other's company. You
Back
all
and forth, we have seen each other, yes.
you FaceTimed each other.
And actually seen each other. Actually, he came to my house, and I actually went to visit him.
Mhm. I can't, and won't speculate on that. I'm just saying that just be mindful that our flesh can get us in deep trouble. Our flesh can cause us to put blinders on, and we start to see things that's not really there. And then we want to get physical, and even more so, we're not able to see what we need to see. I'm not saying that that's your condition, your circumstances, because I don't know, but would say um, that you should always take your time before starting to say, um, he said, because if this is real, Riri, if you're saying the first time you met him, oh my God, this feels so good, and I just can't wait, this just feels, and so now he doesn't want to say, well, I'm not ready yet. And so then he'll say that to appease you. So there's so much more that needs to be looked at and listened to and be purposeful in the direction that you're going. Do you have your core values? Do you have your boundaries? Do you know what are your non-negotiables? Because the first thing that happens to us, Riri, is that we get this ooey gooey feeling. It's like, oh, it's warm fuzzy, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we are lost. We go where socks go. You put two socks in, only one sock comes out of the washing machine. You don't know where it went to, right? That's how
Right.
we, that's how we get. We get all ooey gooey way too soon. Just because you all have been seeing each other, FaceTime and you have not had the conversation or the hard conversation and being in each other's company. And then is he going to say, you come stay here, or are you going to relocate so you can be closer, or is he going to relocate so he can be closer to you? Um, those are the hard questions.
We talked about that. We have. We had conversations about that. That's why I'm wondering what is too soon and what is not too soon. You know what I'm saying?
So, would you say, in the stages that I just went through, would you say that where are you? Or do you think that you're skipping some stages? Do you think that uh, you tackled friendships? Have you tackled dating? Have you tackled courtship? Have See, those are stages. Those are stages. Have you have you gone there yet?
I feel like that I have tackled friendship so
You
far.
have. You have. And see, but no matter what, Riri, I said, I said that this stage is where both parties are discovering their similarities and are being intentional about cultivating a friendship. So we shouldn't even be going any further than that. If both
Yeah,
parties,
he say more than that, but I personally feel like it's more on a friendship level, but he trying basically to take it more than that.
and so if he's trying to take it more than, I don't know if you were here when I was talking earlier,
No,
okay,
ma'am.
is that men say, no, and I'm not making a blanket statement, but that they love you or, just so into you to get. And a woman says, I love you by availing herself. Okay? So he says it's more than that. How long can you keep him at bay to see what it really is? Or are you ready to avail yourself physically,
I
intimately?
want to keep reeling him in to see is if it's something that I want to do, because it's not about just him, it's about us. So I'm basically reeling him in to see if it's more than that on my end.
Well, I understand the terminology, Reed, um, but when we say it like that, it sounds like manipulation because it's so much easier to say to him, um, we're moving too fast, too close, too soon, okay? Because we are adults. We don't want to talk about reeling someone in. If he's moving faster than you're wanting, then you communicate that, you verbalize that. We're not doing reeling in. We're not playing games. We're not. We are adults and we're mature and we sit and we talk about it. We talk about it. We don't.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope I answered your questions.
You did. I appreciate you. I really do.
Thank you. Tony, are you there? I
Tony
don't.
might be asleep.
I don't think he's there. But anyway, um, I don't think he's there. Thank you, Loretta. Thank you so much.
So, do
Um,
you think long distance relationships can work, or what do you think about that?
I do think that they can work. I do think, but it has to be both parties' decision. That's the reason why I said you're gonna hear me say you're gonna get sick of me because
No, I'm not. I'm not. I love it.
no matter what, it is both parties. It is not a one-sided thing. It is both parties. And when it is one-sided, it's gonna weebles wobble and then they fall down. You
Okay.
remember the little weebles? They had the little rocker bottom and they would wobble and they fall down. Uh, it has to be both parties. It's a must be both parties.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming up. If there's anyone else, I see Tony up, but I think that he is working, and we did everything. You all are just wonderful. You all are just wonderful. We got to 30,000. Yeah, we did. Thank you so much. Um, when we say both parties, does that mean the same thing? Um, Happens as equally yoked? No, and yes. Equally yoked means that's in that that's in that friendship stage, okay? In that friendship stage, remember I said it's both parties are discovering their similarities, okay? There's similarities. Um, and are being intentional about. Tony, you're there.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. What's up?
Did you go to sleep?
No, ma'am. I had to, take care of stuff around the house, but I've been
Okay.
tapping.
You're I didn't want to close without you saying whatever. But let me answer this right here and then to you. So it's both parties cultivating the friendship first, okay?
Hmm.
And when we talk equal being unequally yoked, that's encompassing finances, faith. Uh, Let me give you, for instance, there is a gentleman that is just absolutely a gentleman's gentleman. And we had been seeing each other for a year and a half. But, there's that quickening in your gut, right? When you know something is cattywampus. And I'm a Baptist. And he is now Jehovah Witness. And we are no longer. And so you have to be willing to walk away from that you know is going to cause you to be unequally yoked. Uh, we had talked about it. Both parties had talked about it. And because it is one of my non-negotiables, and I explained that to him way in advance. Um, let's let's do Bible study together. Because I love the study of the Bible, right? Absolutely love the study of the Bible. And I so much so love the study of the Bible that I took this class that was 2 years. And at the end of it, you guys, they said I needed to do a 10-minute sermonette. I was like, who you talking to? A 10-minute sermonette. And I was like, Lord, okay. So I had take a scripture and I had to exegese it and then deliver it, right? Okay, I did that. I don't want to say a professional student, but I am a student and I can do the assignment. And at the end, I got my certificate as an evangelist, right? Father God in heaven, it's down here in my box. I was like, I just took the class because I enjoy study of the Bible. Anyway, so I said, let's study together. So I have my Ethiopian Bible, which is the Bible before King James. I have my Geneva Bible. I have my apologetic Bible. These are all wonderful tools to study with. And he studied with me, but when I was saying to Riri, manipulation, but he was still taking classes with the Jehovah Witness on Saturday. And so then his birthday came, December 1. I wished him happy birthday, and I wanted to see if he got it. And I posted it on his Facebook page and everything. And then I saw it. I was coming out and I got this quickening. And God said, keep scrolling. And I kept scrolling. And there was this message that said, thank you all for all of your birthday wishes. But I will no longer be celebrating birthdays and the pagan holidays or something like that. He had joined the Jehovah Witness. Now, the great part about living here in the United States is the choice is yours. The choice is yours to how you worship, but it's also mine. And so I left him a message. He called me, and I said we could no longer see each other. And it didn't bother me because we had not been physical. So I'm okay with that. It was time that we can never get back. And he tried to say, well, don't you have friends that are apostolic Pentecostal? And the answer is yes. And now I have a friend that is Jehovah Witness, right? You are. But the place where we were, because we had decided to date exclusive, well, it comes to a screeching halt for me because that's a non-negotiable for me. And we would be unequally yoked if no, we cannot. We cannot. And we have not. But we remained friends because it was his choice. And both parties did not agree. Remember? Both parties come to a decision. Yeah. Tony, talk to me.
Yes, Miss Donna, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You okay?
I'm good.
All right.
Yes. How can two walk together but they agree? Absolutely. Absolutely, Auntie. Did you have anything that you wanted to Tony, I talked about your your encounter proved gave me um an example to show it's not both parties agreeing, okay?
Oh,
Both
yeah.
parties didn't agree. She woke up, had caught feelings, had decided that she was going to do this in your home and do that in your home, and both parties were not in agreement. So that's what
But it,
happens.
I I take responsibility for that too.
Oh, I know. I know.
But it's like when we first started or whatever, we was on one page or whatever. And as we talked, she was like, she never wanted a relationship or none of
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So we went on a date. Then I think I had a home. It was at least 7:30, 8 o'clock. Like I said, and I'm gonna say from her house to my house, 45 minutes, and she hit me up, So and I didn't when I text her the location where I actually live at. She was like, "Oh wow, you really live?" I said, "Yeah." And as she was driving or whatever, she was telling me, "What up, twin?" She was telling me, she getting close or whatever it may be. But when she got to the gate, they got the security people, whatever, and they wanted the ask her that she had a pass or whatever to be, and I had to, you know. But then when she got there, everything was fine. I cooked, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But it was my fault, y'all. I did everything. But from that night until that next morning when it was time for me to get up and go to work. I was like, look, hit this or whatever button, the garage gonna open up or whatever it may be. And but I gotta start regrouping and get ready for work because it was like 7, and I had to be at the office for 8. And she was like, no, 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 don't go. Let's just live. I'm like, all right. 5 minutes go by. That's when the whole conversation changed. Man, this woman started talking about she could see herself with me every day, living here, doing all type of stuff and talk. I'm like, wait a minute. That wasn't an agreement. I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. The first we got to get being single, being totally single first. That was last week. Now we're talking about so you have an understanding, a
Yeah.
perspective of the 5 stages, key stages to a romantic relationship. And then no, there's no commitment at any of these 2 stages. There's no commitment in friendship. There's no commitment in dating, and very little expectations. But the courtship, but all of these, Tony, are based on both parties agreeing. It is not for us to decide to create a scenario in our heads because this is what we want. This is what it's what
So
you
Miss
all
Donna,
want together.
the next morning, she was like, I think me and you gonna be in a full fledged relationship. You know what I mean? I can see myself. But the month or so that we've been dating, we've been meeting up at different little spots or whatever it may be, going out to eat, doing this, and I was communicating, and I accepted what she was putting out because at the time,
Everything of what she was putting
yeah,
out.
and she'll say that she has been through some things with one of her kids' dad, and then she was married, and she just don't see herself at this moment being in no full fledged relationship or ever getting married at that time, and that was like her bio because she said it all the time. And the few dates that we went on, she repeated it to me. But this one particular night where we went on a date, I had you back at your house already, and then she hit me with, "Hey, what's up? You still up?" I was
Hey,
like,
what's up, big head?
"Yeah." I mean, I'm like, it's damn, it's 10:30. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm up, but I'm sitting up here. I was doing some computer work or whatever. And she was like, oh, because I really didn't want our night to end. What that mean when you tell a man that?
No, it doesn't mean it for me, but
I
when
mean, I'm
it,
just saying when
yeah,
with
it's,
y'all though.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna DoorDash it to you. I'm gonna bring it to you.
And she
So,
drove 45 minutes from her
and
house to my house.
that should have been a flag for you as a man. That
Excuse
should have been
me.
that she is
Hello.
willing to bring DoorDash it to you.
Um,
That should have been um,
you're right, man.
all kinds of
Um,
red flags.
but I didn't expect the twist to happen the next morning, Miss Donna. That's it. I just didn't expect that to happen. And then all of a sudden, all this long time we've been dating, communicating, and you always said it that it's cool being with you. I think you a cool guy, a hardworking man, and a gentleman. But she was like, just let's just cruise with it and let it be. But I don't want a full fledged relationship. She repeated that to me on the phone and several dates. So, but I don't know what I did that night, but that next morning she was somebody totally different. in my bed and didn't want to get out.
But that was, she had no intention. She, there was a part of just manipulation and what can I get out of it? So that's where you, when we're learning these different stages,
Mhm.
where you see you need to be um, mindful be, as a single person that when intimacy is offered up, when intimacy is offered up, we have um,
Hey, ma. Yeah, Lady P.
we have
Oh,
we
wait, Miss
have a
Donna. I'm sorry,
tendency.
Miss Donna. Miss Donna. Ladies, if y'all listening to me, this we talking about a situation that happened 7, 8 years ago. Now I am happily married and stable. All right, Miss Donna. I'm sorry.
Hey, Joseph, how are you?
Hey, Joseph.
Um, when we um, is that Loretta? Let me do my little screen back again. I like this. When we talk about soul ties, the Bible doesn't really talk about soul ties, but you are also
Hmm.
taking on other people's spirits and things like that. And we're really not talking about that, but all of that needs to be mindful when we decide to not bring our flesh under subjection. So
Hmm.
when we are pleasing our flesh, a lot of things happen. And then it's hard to turn it off.
Yeah, well, I do understand because I believe in reading energy from the universe, and I do understand that in that part of that act, there is some soul tying going on. But over a month or so, we dated, and that's all I heard. So that next morning, that was kind of surprising to hear, and I was really kind of lost for words because I'm like, wait, what changed that fast?
She didn't know. She saw how it could benefit her. That's period.
Hmm.
It, stop. Period. End. Right there. How this could benefit her. Hey, Rod, how are you? Um, and so she saw how that could benefit her. So that's what changed. She door dashed you. She door dashed you in intimacy. She got to, you lived in a gated community, and she drove 45 minutes at night by herself, going to a place that she knew nothing about. That was suspicious.
She never ever been to my house. And I think
See, so that was just,
the month or
and
two
had
that
you,
we was mama, I never ever let her came to my house. Never.
yeah, but that's how we say suspect, right?
Hmm.
So it was suspect. But thank goodness that you um, had the presence of mind
Hmm.
and you came out of that situation unscathed. And
Hmm.
like I still say, that we are responsible for our own actions
Hmm.
and we are responsible for the pee that is in our pool because we allowed them to tinkle in our pool.
Oh yeah.
We invited them in
Hmm.
to tinkle in our pool.
Now,
And
Miss Donna, remember me? You talked about this too. um, when I got out of my first marriage, I dated. You know, when I wasn't working or whatever. Remember me? You talked about this. Every woman I dated, right? I was limited on details, and you know, I let them know that hey, I'm just a tow truck driver. You understand what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
all you really needed to know. And if I didn't see us being in a relationship, I wasn't telling you every little bitty thing because I know there are some people like vultures. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I want y'all to hear me out right quick.
Okay.
So as I was dating and I met women because, especially because of what I do, and you know, is a lot of them turned me down because they saw me towing cars and trucks and stuff like that, and I was always working. It was some that was like, you don't have enough time. You work too much. You got too much going on, or
Okay.
whatever.
Now I need you to stop right there.
All right, I'm gonna stop.
No, I need you to put a pin right there.
All right.
What did I say? Everyone that's still here, what did I say? The friendship stage, what? There is no commitment, absolutely no commitment, and very little expectation. The
Mm-hmm.
dating stage, there is still no commitment, right?
That's correct.
And minimal expectations. So they turned you down
Uh huh.
because they already had uh, expectations,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't allow you. Um, you didn't share with them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really know how you were going to be able to support them.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about building with you. Then when we get to the what courtship stage, that's where you make a
Mm-hmm.
decision to be exclusive. But in the dating, it says spending more more quality time together. You're being purposeful in everything that you're doing. Um, the why you feel comfortable inviting her to your home, that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. The story is that he did and she did,
Mm-hmm.
and but
So,
this is what we this is the reason why I share the information that I'm sharing with you so everyone can make better decisions, because to invite someone to your house for the first of all for them to call at that time, and as a woman be willing to drive 45 minutes to a man's house that you've never been there before. Everybody needs to take responsibility for
mm-hmm.
their actions and be accountable for their actions. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you were not here to hear this story, it just fits in with what it is that I'm trying to share with you now. It's the state that where we need to be, our mindset needs to be before we start to do these things and moving the goalposts to where we want it to be, instead of we as individuals want it to be, instead of us as a team, as partners. There was none of that. This was a decision that she made. I hope I've answered all questions.
All right. So the second part of that, Miss Donna, is I had a reality check in my dating phase. Um, so I did a lot because I was a part of this board for this park called Joe Brown Park in New Orleans East. And after the storm, I've been on the board with them and doing a lot of recreational stuff with kids and all type of stuff. But after the NORD program took over the park, all right. Once the NORD program took over the park, it they started doing different things or whatever, more things with the kids and things like that. So in this particular case, there was this event came up or whatever, and I didn't know that I was the person that donated the most money for a great cause. I didn't know that I was the person. Okay. Um the Nord director did a billboard. If you're in New Orleans, if you know about New Orleans, called the world's famous Canal Street. They put me on a billboard that I didn't even know about. Um, so once that billboard went up and about me and the company and what I donated, when I tell y'all, look like soon as the people finished putting the sign up, both of my phones was ringing by women that I ain't talked to in years.
Because it was what you could do for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of being manipulated. If you had allowed them back in and they did their what did you call it? What do you all call it? Heat check and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to cut through the chase. We're going to cut across the field instead of going around the field.
Mm-hmm.
Across the field. This happens for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides. And the bottom line is when we fail to do things as both parties,
Mm-hmm.
both parties.
But it was puzzling, and I get a lot of people, Miss Donna, they misjudge a man, misjudge appearance or whatever it may be. But it was puzzling when I started getting phone calls, not just from my boys, different police officers that I worked accidents with. They hit me up like, "Man, you big on Canal Street," things like that. But then, what was puzzling? I'm talking about Miss Donna, women that I ain't see or talked to 2, 3 years ago. All of a sudden, all of them calling, sending text messages, hit me up on Instagram. And that makes you wonder. I'm the same tow truck driver, man, that you really figured out that you wasn't gonna get much out of me, or I was, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But now you see me on this billboard was for a great cause, and my face was up there saying I sponsored this, and I was the top, what you call it, and it had the NORD program on a billboard, and they saw that, and it's sad that there are women that's like that. That you understand what I'm saying?
I do. But I'm sorry.
Just free. We talking about something that happened in the past, man.
No, we don't have to. Um, absolutely, absolutely, uh, absolutely. So, Tony, I thank you for coming up, sharing. If there's anyone else, because it just helped to close the loop on what I was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and yours was a perfect example for me to share in part. Uh, but what I like to say is that when I share a situation, it is to help you understand where I was coming from with the 5 stages. It was not so much so to understand why he did what he did, but it happened, it took place. He came out of it unscathed. But how can I help you all not to get in that type of predicament? So that's the reason why I share. And yes, he has a beautiful wife that he is married to, and he is a very successful businessman uh, who happens to do tow trucks. But if you don't know the whole story and you don't understand um, how it works, you might see it as something negative, but it is definitely uh, positive. So it is 11:38. I want to thank everyone for being here with me tonight. I will see you all on Thursday. I have more information. If you missed the beginning of this, it will be uploaded tomorrow on my YouTube page. YOU, me, and T with Lady D. So I want to say thank you. Thank you all so very much. And good night. Good night.